You've probably had that moment where the electricity bill shows up and it feels slightly disconnected from reality. Nothing in your routine changed, no new appliances, no obvious spike in usage, and yet the number keeps creeping up as if it's responding to something you can't see. Most people accept it as part of modern life, like taxes or traffic, but there's always that quiet suspicion that the system isn't as simple as it looks. Electricity feels stable because it's invisible and constant, but the structure behind it is anything but simple. You're not just paying for energy, you're paying for infrastructure, distribution, regulation, maintenance, and a chain of dependencies that you never interact with directly. The grid is a black box, and your role in it is passive by design, because the less you understand, the less you question that's where ideas like the energy revolution system start to feel appealing. Not because people suddenly become engineers, but because the promise taps into something deeper than saving money. It suggests that the system you depend on might not be the only option, and more importantly, that it might not even be the most efficient one. The sales narrative leans heavily on a familiar figure, Nikola Tesla, positioned as the misunderstood genius who discovered something disruptive enough to threaten entire industries. The story implies that his work on bifilar coils held the key to multiplying energy output, and that this knowledge was either suppressed or lost. It's a powerful narrative because it reframes energy not as a resource, but as something artificially constrained. From there, the product shifts from being a device to being a set of instructions. The energy revolution system isn't sold as hardware, but as blueprints that supposedly allow you to recreate a simplified version of Tesla's concept using accessible materials. The idea is straightforward on the surface: take a small input of electricity and amplify it using a specific coil configuration, reducing your dependence on external power sources. But this is where the gap between narrative and physics becomes impossible to ignore. The core claim is that you can generate more energy than you consume, effectively creating surplus power from a limited input. That directly conflicts with the most basic principles of energy conservation, which govern every electrical system we use today, from power plants to phone chargers. The concept of a bifilar coil is real, and Tesla did patent variations of it, but its purpose was related to improving efficiency in certain electrical configurations, not creating energy out of nothing. There's a difference between optimizing how energy flows and multiplying energy itself, and that distinction is where most of these systems blur the line. The product positions itself as an alternative to expensive solutions like solar panels, framing traditional renewable energy as just another controlled system with high entry costs. And to a certain extent, that critique holds. Solar systems are expensive, require installation, and still rely on broader infrastructure. They offer independence, but within limits. What the energy revolution system does differently is remove visible complexity. It compresses the entire process into something that looks almost too simple, something you can supposedly build in a few hours with inexpensive components. That simplicity is not just a feature, it's part of the appeal, because it creates the illusion of control without requiring deep understanding. But simplicity in systems like this can be misleading. When a process becomes too easy compared to the complexity of the problem it claims to solve, it usually means that key variables are being ignored or hidden. Energy generation is not just about wiring components together, it involves load management, stability, safety, and measurable output under real conditions. There's also a psychological layer that's easy to overlook. Products like this don't just sell functionality, they sell a shift in identity. Instead of being a consumer who pays monthly bills, you become someone who generates their own power, someone who steps outside the system. That transformation is compelling, especially when the existing system feels opaque or unfair. The testimonials reinforce this shift by focusing on outcomes rather than mechanisms. Lower bills, independence, peace of mind. These are real desires, but they don't validate the underlying claims. They create a narrative loop where the result feels believable even if the process isn't fully understood, and that's the trade-off that rarely gets stated directly. Real autonomy requires understanding, not just instructions. If you truly want control over your energy, you need to engage with the system at a level that goes beyond assembling parts. Otherwise, you're just replacing one black box with another, even if the second one sits inside your own house. The energy revolution system, at its core, is less about a breakthrough in energy and more about a reaction to dependency. It exists because people are uncomfortable relying on systems they don't understand, and it offers a way to feel like that dependency has been removed. Whether it actually delivers on that promise is a different question. That if you look at it purely as a set of DIY electrical instructions, it might be an interesting project. But if you're expecting it to fundamentally change how energy works, that expectation is doing most of the heavy lifting. At some point, the question shifts from, does this work, to, what exactly is working here? And that's usually the moment where people either dig deeper or move on. If you want to see what's actually inside the energy revolution system and how it presents these ideas step by step, there's a link below.